Hi guys, so this is Hajra from Music Glossies and I welcome you all to the channel. I'm here with a new video and this is a get ready with me for Eid Day video. Now as we all know that Bakr Eid or Badi Eid is just around the corner, like a few days now, and yeah, so I thought I'd create this cool makeup look so that you could utilize it or maybe use it or get some help out of it, whatever. And all the get readies that I do are usually muted and they have a song in the background, but this time I decided to just sit down, chillax, talk to you guys and do a get ready video. So if you are interested, keep on watching. So guys, the first thing that I would use, I've already moisturized my face. Now the first thing that I'm using is the Garnier Skin Natural Pure Long Lasting Skin Moisturizer. As you know, this is one of my favorites. This is gel moisturizer and I'm using this to control the oil. Now I have used a moisturizer so I don't really need it, but I thought that I need something to mattify my skin too, and that's why I'm using this one. I'll just take it on my fingertips, dab it together and put it on my face. For the primer today, I am using the LA Girl Pro Prep HD Primer. Now I will use this very small amount on my pores. That's it, nowhere else, because for other places I have another primer in mind. So this is just to fill out my pores because I do have pores around my cheek and near my nose right here, so that's why I'm using this one. The primer I'm using on rest of my face is by Laura Mercier. Here you go. This is Laura Mercier foundation primer, and this gives you a slight dewy look. So if you don't want that, you can totally skip this part, because if you are not a fan of that dewy look, you won't really like this. The foundation that I'm using today is by Makeup Forever because it is Eid Day. It's super hot. I want something which will be on my face for a long time, so I'm using the Makeup Forever foundation, and this is in the shade Y415. Dot it onto my face. I'm gonna use my makeup brush for it. This is the knockoff for the artist brush. It's really good, does the work. Now, and why I'm not using a beauty blender is because it takes a lot of product, so it absorbs some product and decreases the coverage of your foundation, and I don't want that. I really want a full coverage look. So that's why I did not take it. I love Beauty Blender because I love how it makes your skin and how it just, takes out the extra product that's on your skin and gives you the best finish. But for this occasion, and I think in the heat that I'll be in, we celebrate our Eids in our Gao, in our village basically. So it's super hot over there. So I don't want the coverage to be lighter. I want the fullest coverage I can get. After this, I am going for the concealer, and before that I would correct my under eye circles by this LA Girl Pro Conceal. And what I'll do is just slightly take it over here, because whenever I apply it directly it just becomes a mess, and then take it on my brush and just dab it onto the inner corners. Trust me, in this case, in case of color correcting, the less you put is more. Even the slightest that you use will be enough. Now what I'll do is just cover my Now, if you're wondering why I didn't use the brush which came with it, is because it is so saturated with the product that even if you decide not to use that much, it would deliver because it has a lot of product on the brush already, and I didn't want any more than I have applied. So that is why I used another brush. You can obviously always use your finger as well. That is a very good way too. After this, I'm gonna conceal, and for that, first I'm gonna use my Tarte Rainforest of the Sea concealer. This is one of the best high coverage concealers I have come across. MAC has a very good one, but somehow I like the finish of this one. I will dab it all over the area. Now, if I hadn't applied this corrector, I would not put so much of concealer, but because I have this bright orange color underneath which I have to hide, I am using a lot of it. Damp beauty sponge. This is by H&M. If you've seen my haul, you would have seen that I got it from Dubai. If you haven't, go check it out. It's a very entertaining haul, you guys. I got a shitload of products. But you know, the thing that I noticed was that Dubai was really more expensive than States. In Dubai, firstly, you don't get drugstore products that much, like that quantity or whatever you want. You can't get it in Dubai. And secondly, the prices are high, so it was difficult. But it is less than, of course, Pakistan. The prices were less than Pakistan, so that's good. Now this is the concealer I'm using to brighten up my face. This is by Maybelline. It's their Instant Age Rewind concealer, and this is in the shade Neutralizer. I will use the beauty sponge again and just dab it all in. Bring it a little down and in, and down and in, like you would do with a brightener, so that you brighten up the under eyes. Now to the other side. Now I'll set the under eyes, just the under eyes for now, because I want a cream contour. So I'm taking this powder by Bourjois. This is the Silk Edition powder. Just dabbing it onto the under eyes, nowhere else. After that, I will take my contour stick. This is by the brand called Michelin, and this is their contour stick in dark, I think, or medium, I don't know. Dark. It's in their color dark, and I'm gonna take the contour side and chisel out these cheekbones. And to contour, I know that you guys probably know, but start where your ear is and bring it towards your mouth, but finish it right here. Okay, you can go down if you want to, but that will just sag the look, and I'm not really a fan of that look. So this is what I'm gonna do. Then I'm doing the sides because I really need to do the sides. If you don't really have that problem, you can skip that part. Slightly on my forehead, because there too I don't need a lot of contouring. And then on my nose, where I definitely need a shitload of contouring. Okay, done. Yoop. I'm taking the other brush that I have, which is this one. This is also a knockoff of the Artiste brush. So as you see that I am blending it upwards because this is how I want my look to be like. You don't want to drag it down. The proper way to contour is always upwards. Bring it towards your temple. Now I already have a very small forehead, so I don't bring this down a lot. But if you have a very wide forehead and you somehow wanna, you know, make it appear normal or medium size, there's no normal size, that came out wrong, but a medium sized, you can always take this contour a little down so that you have less of this area. Now already I have less of this area, so I am taking mine towards the hairline and not bringing it down a lot. And now the nose part. You know, nose contour is always the trickiest. Although it's just 2 lines that you have to contour out, but it's just, if you don't do it right, it will look really bad and ruin the whole look. So what I do is do it with my brush. Then what I'm doing is taking the other side of the same contour stick, which is the highlight, and using that to define my nose a little more. So you see what I did? I put one line in the middle and one on the sides to highlight the contour even more. Now I'm going to use my beauty sponge and just get rid of the highlight first. And then the middle highlight. And then just generally I will dab it along. Now that we're done with our contour, with the cream I will use a powder to just set everything in place, and the powder that I'm using is by Too Faced. This is their Chocolate Soleil bronzer, and I am in the shade deep, medium deep actually. And I'll just take my brush. I think Hoola is one of my favorites, but I just couldn't find it anywhere, so this is good enough too, but I think Hoola is really good. Just put it wherever you put the cream contour, and don't worry about it getting messy over here, slightly over here, because we will clean that up later, so it's all gonna be fine. Don't worry about that. I will take my beauty blender again, and I will take this powder again. You can use a loose powder as well, and I will rub it in this like so, and just see where you want your sharp line to be. I will, you know, blend it all in after a while. Before that, let's come to our eyes. This I'm using 2 things. One, I'll be using that Kiko pigment that I bought from the buy, and this Ciate London palette by Chloe Morello. First, I'm gonna use the shade My Tribe, which is this one. Then I will take the shade this, which is called Skinny Dipping, or Skinny Dip rather, not dipping, and make it my crease color. you can see I'm not bringing it down a lot. I'm just concentrating on the upper part of my crease, because here's when I want to form a crease. So that's what we're doing. Now if you don't have a lid or you don't have a crease, you can create it where you want it to be. Or a very simple trick to create a crease is that you put a concealer right over here and open or blink your eyes. And when you blink your eyes, this would hit somewhere over here. That would be your exact crease. So you can work around that. Now I'm going in with this other color called Unconditional. This is the color Unconditional. Just deepening up the crease. And now bringing it a little down than what I was doing earlier. I'm not taking it all the way up, but it is still a very fluffy brush, and I'm bringing it a little down with it. Concentrating more of the color on the outer edge and then bringing whatever is left to the inside. This is a very easy look, really. I mean, you just have to build up the crease, that's it. And in this case, I have all the shades. Like, this is the same family of shades. There's just a darker, I don't know, then just a pigment for it. So you don't really have to have this palette or anything. You just need to get these shades of one family of brown or pink or whichever you want to work with, but I feel like green complements brown more, so I'm using that. The next color that I'm using is this one, and this is called On Fire. This is the last shade that I'm going to use in the crease, and here we go. Just blending it all in, just blending it all in. Blend the fuck out of it, because the more blended your look is, the more pretty and seamless it will look. But if you are going for a not blended look, then that's all cool. That's you. You can do you. So, and I'm not being sarcastic here. There are not blended looks like the cut crease and different looks. There are so many looks. Makeup is an art, so you can play with it. There are no rules. And if you hear a rule, it's meant to be broken. So do what works for you. And it's a trial and error. You know, you do something, you see it's not good, and then you do it again, and then you see it's good. So you have to do it on yourself and then see, because every face is different. Every eye shape is different. So there are different things which suit on different people. I am taking the glitter glue by Too Faced, and I will take a rather small dot, like right over here, so that I can apply it onto my lid, because the pigment that I'm using is a little powdery, so it might get here and there. So I'll use my finger. You can use a brush, putting it all over the lid, because that's where I will concentrate the pigments. So on this eye as well. This is by Kiko. This is called Magnetic Eyeshadow in the shade Fall something, Fall 20. Taking this brush, a shader brush, and this is the Concealer F70 brush by Sigma. I never use it for concealing. I will use some Fix Plus to get even more pigment. You can use any spray, any setting spray, any priming spray that you have. I'm just gonna dip it into this. This is the pigment that I got. Very carefully pack it onto your lid. Don't worry if it gets a little messy. because we will blend the edges, so it doesn't matter. Just apply it to the 3/4 of your lid, and that should be enough. I think that is enough for now, and let's blend the shit out of this color, because unblended we will look like a joker. So the blending brush that I'm using is this brush. It has white bristles. This was by Kylie Cosmetics. I will use these two, Skinny Dip and Unconditional, to blend it out. And now what I'm doing is coming a little down and bringing this shade towards the end up till here. Not exactly to the ends, because there I will use a brown color, like a dark brown. So I created the wing because I'm a wing girl. And then what I'll do is apply this black liner kohl pencil onto the inner rim. The next thing I'm using is Maybelline Chromatics in the shade green or turquoise vibe for the lower lash line. I will use all these 4 colors onto my lower lash line. So what are you guys wearing on this Bakrid? Like, because it's so hot, are you wearing something like lawn or silk, or are you planning on wearing a full party type thing? Or what you guys do? Like, in our village, we go to each other's house because our houses are really close by. So we just go to each other's house, sit around, have fun, and that's it. This scene is a bit hectic since it has all the ghost thingy going on. Just darkening up the lower lash line a bit. I'm not bringing it all the way in because since my eyes are smaller, they look even smaller. And for the inner eyes, inner corners, I'm using this shade, which is called Dainty. Now that we're done, the only thing left is the lashes. First, I'll apply a coat of mascara, and the mascara I'm using is by Too Faced is Better Than Sex mascara. And for that, I'm using this ColourPop pencil in the shade Brunette, Bang Brunette. Let's do this, you guys. Straighten it up. using the Marc Jacobs blush, and this is in the shade Lines in Last Night. Yeah. Now I'm gonna sweep it like this, remove the excess, and here we go. Woo, that's pretty. I put my blush like this. I put it on the apples and then I take it backwards because that's how I feel complements my face shape the most. Highlight is called Soft and Gentle by MAC. This is my favorite part. I love highlights. I live for highlights. So I'm just gonna dab it in, and here we go. Ooh. I love this highlight. I feel this is so good and suits so many people that it's amazing. Do you see it? Oh my god, this is beautiful. Same for hair. Bring it a little towards the temple. My tip, that don't bring your highlight further than this, because that will just accentuate your pores if you have them, if you are like me. If you're not like that, I envy you, girl. Then on the tip of our nose and slightly over here, just like an exclamation mark. Do over here and then over here, and on the cupid's bow. For the lip color that I'm applying, this is by Wet n Wild. And this is in their shade Give Me Mocha. Give Me Mocha is looking more peach than an actual mocha, so I think I'm gonna change that a little bit. Here I am using the MAC shade Taupe. This is a nude, and I'll just dab it onto my lips. So you guys, this was the final look. I hope you enjoyed it, and it was so much fun doing it, chatting and just doing, and you know, all that jazz. And if you liked the video, hit that like button, share it, subscribe, and hit the bell button so that you get to know about all the future videos. And let me know what are your plans for this Eid, because I really like to know about them. And I'll see you next time with a brand new video. I love you all so much. Bye.